Hello and welcome back to another one of my videos. I'm Tristan, the channel is Trist Sims, and we build in The Sims 4 together here. In today's video, we're going to be doing a bit of a contemporary build. It is built on a coastal location in Tartosa, which is the My Wedding Stories world that you can get with that game pack. And yeah, I think with today's build, it's definitely more of a contemporary vibe. I think given the lot that I built it on, I lent really into that coastal theme, so really airy with cool tones throughout that make you feel nice and calm and almost bringing the outdoor in, but still having that clear separation. I will put a disclaimer here telling you that there is a lot of CC in this build, so you'll notice it when I start to add the windows to the shell and the doors and that kind of thing, all the way through to the furniture and the plumbing and stuff I use inside. So I'd say probably about 80% of the items I place are CC, and I will do my best to let you know what items I'm using and where, and I'll put in the description down below where you can get them for yourself if you find something in here that's quite inspiring. The first piece of CC you can see me using here as I start to place the windows and things on the outside of the home to get a good idea of the shape is the Felix, Andre and Harry Quate window pack. So there's lots of kind of windows and doors and that kind of thing that most of them do have quite large panes of glass, which I think worked really well, and they have these really cool wooden accents down the bottom and come in so many swatches. So yeah, definitely if you like building kind of more modern homes, I definitely recommend this pack because it does add a lot of character, but is still kind of really modern, which is really cool. The diagonal blinds you'll see me place in the kind of entry corridor and the bathroom are really cool as well, I think. There's something I do love is that now with CurseForge really kind of picking up in Steam, having it on Mac now, which is what I actually play on, but also on PC, for a little while. It makes me a bit more confident to download mods knowing that they'll be, officially updated and stuff through that portal. I think that makes things so much easier. What do you guys think about that? Do you think it's better that EA have put, I guess, a little bit of control over mods, or do you prefer getting them from the creators? I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on that, because I know there are a lot of opinions on mods. I think some of the best creators in our community actually are CC creators. They enable us as builders and simmers to kind of elevate the game to a true interpretation of our style and that kind of thing, which you can't always do with Max's content. Something you might have noticed is I placed a bit of a stone on the outside, which is the matching stone as you see as the path in. I do end up changing that. I think it ends up being a wood swatch maybe, but you'll kind of see that take shape throughout the build. Now what I'm doing here is something I've started to find indisposable in terms of doing a new build, and that's placing some dummy furniture. Obviously this helps you to get an idea of where everything will be placed, but I think more importantly it actually helps you to size your build correctly. I notably always build really quite huge builds. So I love a really vast single story home with lots of space, and it doesn't necessarily need to have a second story because you can access everything on one. And I tried to challenge myself with this build today to make it a little bit smaller. So granted, it's probably only ideal for a sim or a couple of sims and maybe a pet. It is probably, I'd say, half, if not less than that, of the size of a home that I would usually build. So I'm really happy with how I've managed to utilize the different spaces, but still make it feel very open. I think that was kind of a really important point for me as I kind of built this home. Now, some of the CC that I've placed down since I last kind of updated you guys, in the kitchen, I am using the kitchen packs. That's kitchen with no T, kitchen. Alright, now you'll notice as I get around to the bathroom here, I place a little platform that I elevate the bath onto and put a wooden floor, which I think is a really nice little touch. The custom content sink, shower, toilet and mirror are all from either the MCM or the Oak House packs, which are both from Purasim. I think he's probably most notably one of my favorite CC creators. He creates these really beautiful iterative sets that he'll often release like 4 or 5 parts of that can really tie together a complete house if you want that really kind of continuous flowing feel throughout, or they can help you make a really beautiful kind of statement room, which I think is also quite important in a lot of these builds. As I said earlier, I do use a lot of green, and you're going to see that start to really show through these next couple of rooms. Now, this room also has a lot of oak house, a lot of MCM. It has the bedding on there is from a pack called Liked, which I'll link below. Like I use some desert locks and stuff, those curtains, those sheer curtains. I think they actually nailed the timing of that. To be honest, I think that went really well with what's kind of going on online and in magazines and things at the moment. For the house as a whole, I think my interior design inspiration came from a couple of pictures. One was from the kitchen leaning into the dining room, which is where that skylight actually played into it. You will know if you've watched any of my videos that I build a lot of skylights, but I think with this one, it was something else that actually triggered my interest to do that. And the other photo was of a living room flanked by windows on the beach. I had beautiful long sheer curtains and had a really airy feel to it. And that's where you'll see the sunken living room, another flag post of a Trist Sims build put into it, but I swear it was in the inspiration photo as well. I don't think I've ever in The Sims actually built one of these kind of white on white on white color schemes, but it actually looks a lot better than I thought it would. I've never really tried it because I thought it would be a bit too bland in a video game as opposed to that kind of clean feeling that you get in real life. But no, I think it tied together really well. There is a CCTV there. It is my same TV in real life, the Samsung Seraph. Someone called MXIMS did the CC for that, so I will, as I said earlier, link these all down below for you. Yeah, I'm just placing a few plants and things that had white or cream pots to add a little bit of decoration to the area, but still keep that clean and minimal vibe, because I don't think any kind of art or anything really made sense for that space. Now, something I imagined for this little kind of walkthrough and study space, right, was like the person that lives here is probably in today's age, like some sort of professional who has realized that their job is very easily done from their home office. And what kind of better thing than to have a view straight out the window of the infinite kind of shoreline. So I kind of built that with that in mind. Now, another piece of CC that I actually picked up in between 2 sessions of filming this one is the terrazzo flooring. Now, I will chuck up here what that terrazzo was called, because I don't remember off the top of my head, but I will link it for you. Getting to outside now, I really don't know if I love or hate the way that this outside turned out, but I chose to have it quite small with a kind of little sunken hot tub pit, and then also a place a little bit further on around some beautiful planted trees and planters with a couple of kind of day beds for you to lay on and look out to the ocean, which I thought was probably what you'd expect for a house of this location. And you'll kind of see here I play around with that same idea from my last build of the long stairs made from a series of platforms. This one a little easier than the last because I didn't have to put the whole house on a platform after I'd already built it. We got there though, it's fine. Now getting to this area, you'll start to see me add all of the really important elements into the kitchen, as well as making sure that it is completely functional. I actually think I ended up staying with these this kitchen set, which is just kitchen without the tea. But I think I recolored it, so I think it ended up being a bit of a different color, and with a really fun, very warm splashback. I think it's a terracotta tile. To be honest, I've been loving terracottas and pinks lately. I kind of replaced all of my towels with that kind of thing. Yeah, you can see there. So it is what I thought. I made sure that kitchen brought a bit of warmth into the home, as otherwise it is quite cool. And like I usually use a lot of wood inside a home, and this is obviously quite a bit different. Very important part, adding the glass to the skylight or you might end up with a home full of water. Now you'll see as I start to move around the build now in this kind of decoration phase, it will start to pull everything together. I think something I liked about my workflow in this particular build is it took me nowhere near as long as my builds normally do, given it was a bit smaller, but I think placing all of the furniture and having an idea of the floor plan before I actually chose to go with the color schemes and things, I think that actually had a huge payoff. I think it saved a couple of hours off my build. It's a technique I've seen like Lil Simsy use, and I think it actually makes so much sense after putting it into practice once, because it just helps you to get an idea of what decor you want, and then color. Like most items you can recolor to fit that, which kind of does help a bit. So as you can see here, that green bedroom and bathroom that I spoke about really do tie in to the build now. I used a tile feature wall in the bedroom, which is not something I've considered before. Obviously lots of wallpaper feature walls and things like that, but I don't know if tile really makes sense in a bedroom, but I think it looks nice, so we will go with it. There's some really beautiful art pieces here, one from the Oak House kit and the others are from the I think it was from the Felix, Andre and Harry kit. So yeah, that's those plants you see that are framed there, and of course some MCM table lamps, which I'm absolutely in love with. I'd love to get some of these in real life. I think I place in the hallway maybe a like a banana leaf, something like that. Yeah, and there it is. And this Oak House art comes in so many lovely swatches that tie into each other really well, so I ended up using quite a few of those throughout. So you'll see me adding some kind of finishing rugs and things around the place now that kind of accent some of the colors that I've used, and add another piece to break up that kind of really vast white that's everywhere. Even with the terrazzo floor, it is quite cool and white, so thought it made sense to make sure that it's broken up. And then yeah, just basically placing a heap of decor and clutter items, some functional, some not, around the place to make it look a bit more lived in, but still that kind of high class coastal home that I was going for. I really had a great idea of what I wanted to do with the string lights, and it didn't work out. It was the links didn't make sense. Well, however, we made it work. I still managed to get a couple of them into the build, which I was quite happy about. So yeah, it is what it is, I guess. Now this is where you'll start to see me build the little kind of like deck with a couple of lounging chairs to look out onto the coast, which I think would be so lovely. These are from a Felix Andre pack called Grove, with really beautiful wire chair and courtyard kind of accents and courtyard vibes. To be honest, it's a really beautiful pack, so I think that's one you should check out if you like this kind of style. I used about 5 different kinds of cactus, some sized up, some sized down, to create an interesting garden without having an absolute cluster of stuff. I like it to be a little bit neater, but still look like organic and real. So I think using a few of the same kind of items made a lot of sense. You'll start to see me experiment a little more with the materials that the build was made of. I think I ended up on this one as opposed to the ones before that were a little more textured with those wood accents on the inner, as I spoke about earlier, which I think looks a little bit nicer. I think makes sense. And then I went with this piece that actually goes around the whole build. This wouldn't have been my first choice, and I don't think it looks bad, but I think it looks better than the white bit that was hanging out on the parts that are overhanging. So I think that made a little bit more sense to do that way. So yeah, most of the rest of the video is just me landscaping. If you like the content that I deliver to you guys, please like and subscribe and smash the notification bell, then you'll know when I upload content. I aim to do this a couple of times, if not a few times a month, with shorts in between to get you through. If there's something you want to see me build, leave it in the comments below, but otherwise I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.